baseball here in Atlanta. Hi again, everybody. Don Sutton along with Ernie Johnson. We're getting set to bring you the first of 3 against the Florida Marlins this weekend. The Braves got off to a good start this year. Part of it was because they were able to keep the lineup intact. But it didn't take long for the injury bug to hit. First it was Ryan Klesko, then David Justice. Mark Lemke has been playing less than 100%. Ernie, they got the opening day lineup in there last night for a game everybody was excited, but it didn't last very long.
Not very long, just one night. Marquise Grissom injured a heel coming out of the batter's box. He'll be replaced by Mike Kelly tonight. We don't know how long Marquise will be out. It's a day-to-day thing, but I think he's going to miss a few ball games. Tom Glavine, beating out a bunt, injured his left leg, and he might miss a turn, I don't know. Dwight Smith, a few days ago, injured his shoulder. I think he's playing hurt.
So a little bit of a makeshift lineup for the Braves, but there is a good pitching matchup for this first ball game. It'll be Bobby Witt on the mound for the Florida Marlins, left-hander Steve Avery for the Braves. We'll have the rest of the starting lineups when we come back. Some storms blew through the Atlanta area yesterday and today, but you could not ask for a better night here in Atlanta at Fulton County Stadium. The umpires are meeting with Renee Latchman and Jim Beecham. The lineup cards have been exchanged, and Ernie, what was written on them?
Okay, here are the Turtle Wax starting lineups. For the Marlins, that's pronounced Kilvio Barris, and it's Brown, Sheffield, and Conine, followed by Colburn, an old favorite, Terry Pendleton, Kurt Abbott, Charles Johnson, and the pitcher, a right-hander, Bobby Witt. Defensively for Atlanta, Klesko, Kelly, and Justice. As I mentioned on the open, Kelly replacing Marquise Grissom. Jones, Blauser, Lemke, McGriff around the infield, and Charlie O'Brien catching Steve Avery. The umpires for tonight's game, we've got a change. Angel Hernandez will call the balls and strikes. Larry Vanover's at first. An old friend, Bruce Fremming from South Milwaukee, will be at second base, and Jerry Crawford will be at third base. Terry Pendleton has been suspended, I might add, but he's appealing the suspension. He pushed an umpire, or maybe hit him a little bit. He has been suspended for 4 games, but he's appealing it, so Terry can play tonight. We've got a beautiful night for baseball. Last night, the Braves won it by a score of 3-2 over the Rockies. They took that series 3-1. And boy, we saw some home runs hit here last night. You will hardly believe. Larry Walker hit one almost into the club level in right center field. And then Javi Lopez hit one halfway to the Capitol in left center field. And we got some relief pitching. It was a little shaky in spots, but the Braves hung on to win by a score of 3-2. McMichael got the win, Munoz the loss, and very pleasant surprise. Pedro Borbon picked up his second save. In fact, he's been just about unhittable in his last few games.
He's gone 6 straight games without allowing a hit. 5 innings, no walks, and 6 strikeouts, so he has pitched well.
Braves take the field. The crowd tonight, well, they're still coming in, but it'll probably be around the same as we've had the last few games, 15 possibly to 20,000. There have been over 27,000 tickets sold. Steve Avery, 0-1, will be the pitcher there. The stats on him, 22 hits in 21 2/3 innings, a couple of homers, 6 walks, and 16 strikeouts. He's only had 1 shaky outing, and he hasn't got much support. 10 runs in his last 4 starts. He is 1-2 lifetime against the Marlins, 1-1 last year. Steve Avery, who has had some great games for the Braves over the years, especially in the playoffs, signed a lucrative contract this year. He's got a couple of more warm-up tosses to go. As Don mentioned, it's just a beautiful night for baseball. I might mention that the flags are little starts going toward right field. There's Renee Latchman, the manager of the Marlins. The wind is blowing out toward right, so it could help a left-handed batter. These same 2 teams tomorrow and Sunday. Monday's off. It's the first off day the Braves have had in 3 weeks. The last off day was when we were in Miami. So they've got an off day on Monday. They can use it. And then they're going on a long road trip. First to St. Louis and Houston, followed by Chicago. Bobby Witt has completed his tosses. We're just about ready to go. The ball over to Chipper Jones, back to Avery on the mound. Their leadoff batter, Veras, is walking toward home plate. And here to tell you about it, Don Sutton.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Kilvio Veras will lead it off. This Marlins ball club hasn't exactly been beating the ball to death. You see what they're hitting as a team, even worse in runners in scoring position, and worse than that with 2 out and runners in scoring position. So very important for Steve Avery. Throw strikes, pitch ahead in the count, which if you looked at his lines in the introduction, you saw that he's been doing that. And there is strike 1 to Kilvio Veras. We're underway. A little bit of a late start, 7:43 it says on the clock. They normally kick these off in the neighborhood of 7:40. Same spot, same call, 0-2. Don't get in a hurry when Veras comes up there, because he is one of those that has all the moves down to delay a game. It takes him a while to get ready. Stays alive, and it's still 0-2. We got a shot of manager Renee Latchman. He got into a little to-do the other night, I guess, with Bob Davidson. There's my old manager, Latch, one of the good guys. That's out of play, and it's still 0-2. That'll send him scurrying around in the Marlins dugout. But he got kicked out of a ball game. Bob Davidson, the umpire, booted him, and then Davidson, in the process of booting him, said, "By the way, this ball game stinks too." So Latchman, I guess, didn't mind getting kicked out, but he said, "I've been watching the game. I know it stinks. You don't have to tell me that." Still 0-2 to Veras. Pesky little hitter stays alive. Veras, Brown, and Sheffield. First 3 due up. Top of the first inning. Temperature dropping down a little bit here in Atlanta. We had some heavy artillery go through here last night. Everything all right up your way, Ernie?
A few branches down. 76 degrees right now, so it has cooled off.
A little bit outside, and it's 1-2. We've had a few of those fireworks displays already this year. A little lightning. Got him with a breaking ball. Good start for Avery. Strikeout number 1, 17 for the year, and a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
I think it was a breaking ball, and we'll look at it again. And it was a curve, down and in. And you got a guy who has walked 20 times this year. He's 3rd in the league. Veras, he didn't walk that time.
Here's Jerry Brown, nicknamed the Governor. 1 out of 2 against Avery. That one hit a homer. First pitch from Avery down low, and it's 1-0.
I wonder if they say Governor, or they say it a different way.
They say Governor, I think, after Jerry Brown.
Okay.
Chopper to Avery. Should be an easy play. Is, and he's gone. That'll bring up Gary Sheffield. Sheffield, one of those right-handers who wears out left-handers, and it's certainly no different this season. You see what he's hitting against lefties to this point. Also, in his brief career, his next hit against the Atlanta Braves will be his 50th against them.
Colorful shoes that he's wearing.
Yeah, we got to get a look at those. That could be trouble. Plesko at the warning track and has room. He got under it just a touch. And Avery knows he just missed that one. But the Marlins go 1-2-3. Nothing doing top half of the first. Here come the Braves.
Sunday, triggered by anger and hate, tragedy explodes in the heartland. Was the bombing in Oklahoma City the product of homegrown terrorism? Cry hatred. CNN presents Sunday, 9 Eastern.
Avery has a 1-2-3. Now it's a Braves turn. And here's the lineup that they'll send up there. Mike Kelly in center field leads it off. And it's Blauser, Jones, McGriff, followed by Justice, Plesko, Charlie O'Brien, who has caught Avery every start this year. Mark Lemke hitting 8th, and Steve Avery will bat 9th, and he will pitch. And Conine, Brown, and Sheffield stand around the outfield. And an old favorite, Terry Pendleton at 3rd, Abbott short, Veras 2nd, Colburn at 1st, Charles Johnson catching Bobby Witt. There are the numbers on Witt. He won his last ball game. He did not pitch well against the Braves at Miami. He's allowed only 15 hits and 19 in the third inning, 17 strikeouts. He's had a tendency to be a little wild this year with his 11 walks. And that's what he did against the Braves down at Miami. The walks killed him. We're ready to go.
This will be his 250th career Major League start. Off compared to Nolan Ryan as a youngster. His first pitch to Kelly is upstairs, 1-0. Kelly, Blauser, and Jones. First three due up, as Ernie told you earlier. Mike Kelly getting the start from Marquise Grissom. And we're not sure how long that's going to be on Marquise before he'll be able to go back out there. So the injury bug has bitten the Braves pretty hard here for the last couple of days. 2-0 to Kelly.
Kind of a scary injury to Marquise down there around that Achilles tendon business. And if you've ever tried to run with a sore heel, if anything, I think it's got to be rested. I don't think he's going to play this weekend, and Monday is off, and maybe plays in St. Louis, but it's a little more serious than you might think.
3 balls and no strikes to Kelly. Down low, good start for the Braves. Braves have had some good starts here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. They much prefer to hit here versus on the road. Almost 2 runs a game better. 70 points better, and look at the batting average, the team batting average, a full 60 points higher here at home, and a good start. Kelly draws the walk. Remember that graphic we showed you? 6 walks from Bobby Witt down in Miami. 4 of them scored. Let's see if the Braves can keep that trend. Here's Jeff Blauser. There's a strike. Blauser 1 out of 2 against Bobby Witt.
He pitches a bit across his body. When he steps toward the plate, he also goes a little bit toward third base and comes over. But he's probably been pitching that way all his life, and it's hard to break some habits. He should open up a little bit, but he doesn't.
Breaking ball upstairs. Got to be hard to be consistent, Ernie, when you're throwing against that leg and going across it, because aren't you asking the upper half of the body to do all the work?
Yes, and when you're throwing a curveball, you are kind of, and his front leg is pretty stiff too, so he's kind of pitching against himself. But he's won almost 100 ball games, and he has good stuff. Got a great curve.
In the air, right side, shallow right, tough play. Veras not going to get it. They might get Kelly at second, and they do. That is a tough fielder's choice.
Well, you give the Marlins credit for quick release. Veras should have caught it right there. Then he grabs it on a bounce and fires to his shortstop. And Kelly, who was halfway because he thought the ball was going to be caught, is forced to second base. So it's just like a grounder to the second baseman. It's the forced play. No hit for Blauser.
And Abbott making like a first baseman, shortening that throw at second. Here's Chipper Jones. Doesn't get the high fastball. Chipper at 263, 5 homers. He has had 1 official at bat against Bobby Witt. He's 0 for 1. As Ernie told you, Witt won his last start 8-2 versus the Colorado Rockies. It's the longest he's gone to open up a season without a win. Going all the way back to 1990. He needed 6 starts to get his first win back there. He went 7 innings against the Rockies. Jones will foul it out of play. And he's in a hole, 0-2.
Well, his stuff is so good that I think once he starts throwing strikes and doesn't walk very many batters, that he should win some ball games for this Florida team.
But how long do you wait? They've been saying that about Bobby Witt for a long time. He first came to the big leagues back in 1986.
But even last year, he pitched fairly well for Oakland.
135 innings, 111 strikeouts. Best year was probably back in 1990 when he was 17-10 with a 3 earned run average for the Texas Rangers. Other than that, he has only had 1 year when he's over 500. But about 1,300 strikeouts and 1,500 innings. Just misses inside to Chipper Jones, and it's 1-2.
Tell you what happens with general managers, because most general managers feel pitchers come along a little later at times, and there's always a chance the pitcher finds himself, even though he might be 29 or 30 years old. They don't feel the same way about infielders and outfielders. But pitchers, a little different breed.
Upstairs, it's 2-2. Bobby Witt just turned 31, May the 11th. Normally, don't they figure a pitcher's prime? It used to be, they figure like 27 to 34 should be a prime, 6 or 7 years for a pitcher.
John Quinn, who's a very fine general manager for many, many years. His son, Bob Quinn, from the general manager of the Giants right now. John Quinn didn't feel that you knew how to pitch until you was 27 or 28 years old. Of course, that's back when there were only 400 players in the major leagues, and you had to stay in the minor leagues for a long time and do something before you even got a chance.
Jones stays alive. It's still 2-2. They didn't have a lot of the good college programs then, did they, that they do now?
No, the colleges didn't play as many ball games, and I always felt that if you didn't win yourself 15 ball games at least at the AAA level or AA level, you weren't even going to get a look.
Speaking of college programs, I know Joe Simpson will probably wax eloquently tonight about Bobby Witt. Witt is a product of the University of Oklahoma college baseball program. Maybe we can knock him out before Joe gets over here and spare you that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, just underway from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Kelly drew the leadoff walk, was forced at second. Blauser the runner there. He'll draw a throw, but scrambles back safely. Will stop at second. In fact, Chipper Jones may have gone out and hit himself a pretty good pitch there.
Jones, when he was rehabbing, we'll take a look at this. Yeah, it sits on the outside corner, but he got the fat part of the bat on it. When Chipper was rehabbing, he did a lot of exercise, and he's stronger than he looks. I think he's got a lot of body strength, and it's shown with his 5 home runs and the line drives that he's been hitting.
You don't wish an injury on anybody, but he's one who took advantage of the time that he had to not only strengthen that knee, but the rest of his body. Here's Fred McGriff, 7 for 20 against Bobby Witt, 240 for the year, but he has hit well here in Atlanta. You see the 4 home runs, the 17 RBIs, leads the ball club. Chipper Jones trails him by 2. Lays off the high fastball. You see all 4 of his dingers have come right here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. 1-0. Make it 2-0.
You don't necessarily have to walk people to be wild. If you fall behind hitters 2-0 and 3-1 and have to come in with something fat, that's worse than walking them because they might hit one in the upper deck.
McGriff, did he go? They're going to say that he did. Angel Hernandez making the call. Fred never complains about anything. We'll give you a look at it here. You umpire.
See where the bat goes. Yes, he went. That bat goes across the plate. Don't worry about the breaking the wrist or anything like that.
Even if you didn't mean to?
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. That bat goes over there. It's a strike.
2-1. Florida Marlins have only been around a couple of years, but Fred has feasted pretty good on them. Just a couple of points under 300, 5 home runs against Marlins pitching. Good move by Witt there, wasn't it, with his infielder out of position. McGriff, a guy who hit some over there. Instead of coming ahead with the pitch, he waited to Abbott move back to short.
You get in the doghouse of the manager if you pitch with a shortstop or second baseman standing at second.
Here's a strike, and it's 2-2. The Marlins employ a little bit of a shift for Fred McGriff. Abbott cheats a little bit over there. Barris is, you can see in the right-hand part of your picture, moving in toward the hole at second. And the outfield shaded a little bit. Actually, it looked like they bunch him in the outfield. They give him both lines and take away the alleys. On the ground, could be two. Abbott to Barris. Barris to Colburn, pitcher's best friend. And for Fred, that's 7 he has grounded into early in the season. Braves come up empty here. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played 1, no score. Avery got it off to a 1-2-3 start. He'll face Conine to begin the inning here. Ground ball, Chipper Jones. 1 pitch, 1 out. Another good start. That'll bring up Greg Colburn. A couple of good coaches for the Florida Marlins. Rusty Kuntz over at first base. And a former, here's a look at Rusty, and a former manager and good guy. Knows a lot about baseball. Cookie Rojas is the third base coach. Part of that combination, that double play combination in Philadelphia. The plays of Wine and Rojas. Here's Colburn.
I think Rojas played about 18 years, and he's a good choice to be a member of the Marlins, being Cuban, and there's a number of people in Miami that are Cuban.
1-1 to count. Cookie knows a lot about baseball. He was the advanced scout when I played with the California Angels. Did a good job. 2 balls and a strike. 5 out of 16 Colburn is against Steve Avery. In the air, center field. Kelly's got a bead on it. Kelly's got it. 5 in a row set down by Steve Avery. And here comes a good guy. Good friend of ours who's in a little hot water right now, though. Suspended by the National League and fined an undisclosed amount for making contact with an umpire during the game on Wednesday. He has appealed. He will be eligible to play. And Terry is standing ovation as he comes back for his first AB. And if that doesn't get your heart thumping, then you better notify the next of kin. And it's got him. And a little genuine emotion right there. Take a minute and enjoy it, Terry. You earned it.
Well, I'll tell you, in 1992, he knocked in 105 runs. He was very important in all those great years for the Braves here in Atlanta.
A little bit of class by Steve Avery, too, backing off and letting him have it. There's a strike. It's 0-1. That's a nice touch for a youngster. I think a lot of young guys might not have recognized the moment, but Avery just backed off the rubber and rubbed the ball up and let Terry enjoy his moment. Then painted the outside corner with a strike. And paints the inside corner with strike 2. This is a milestone game for Terry Pendleton. He has been around a while. He has stood at third base and made a lot of swings. This is game number 1,500. There it is, the Braves scoreboard. Operators recognizing that feat. Change up, and it's 1-2. That's a lot of smashes to third, isn't it, Ernie?
Oh. Great career at St. Louis, followed by another one with the Atlanta Braves. Terry's going to be 35 in July, and he wants to play a few more years.
And will. To left field, hit hard. Klesko's going back. It's off the wall. So after getting behind 0-2, Pendleton jumps on a high fastball. First hit of the game. He stands at second with 2 outs.
Let's take a look at this pitch. He wants it inside, and he didn't get it in far enough, and it was high. And anyone, I don't care where you're playing baseball, Little League, Major League, everybody likes a high pitch.
So the Marlins have a runner in scoring position. Abbott, the hitter. He's 2 out of 7 against Avery. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop by Charlie O'Brien.
These guys hit mistakes up here. I mean, you make a mistake, usually it's going to be a line drive. Might not always be a base hit. But they hit mistakes, so the fewer you make, the better record you're going to have.
2-0 to Abbott. This is one of the shortcomings of the Marlins, the situation right here. And here's some guys right in the middle of their lineup. One of the ways you become 5 and 15 is not being able to drive them home. And Abbott at $1.25. But he hasn't had to swing the bat yet. It's 3-0.
They've got two bad things happening to them. They're 5 and 15, but their ERA is high and the batting average as a team is low.
Put those two together, you're lucky to be 5 and 15.
Yes, you're not going to win many.
3-0, he'll be taken. Charles Johnson waits on deck. This is ball 4. So after the double to Pendleton, Avery walks Abbott, and will bring up Charles Johnson, the catcher. Johnson off to a slow start offensively. Half a dozen RBIs, 1 home run. Coming off a pretty good week, though. He was 6 out of 20 this week, but he has been horrible on the road. He's only hitting a shade over 100. There's the strike, and it's 0-1. He has a 5-game hitting streak to get the average up to 169. Oh, chin music. Don't see a whole lot of that anymore, do you?
Not as much as you used to. It's almost automatic, no balls, 2 strikes. But Avery is kind of the all-American kid, but he's got a bit of a temper along with it.
Out of play, and it's 1-2. Charles Johnson, a feat he can be very proud of. He is the first Marlins farm product to be signed by them, brought up through the minor leagues, and to reach the major leagues. All the others either got there by trade or by draft. Something along, remember. Another heater inside, and it's 2-2.
That was a good pitch.
Sets up a lot of things. Yeah. Sets up a lot of things, doesn't it?
Makes you aware that if you're the batter, that, hey, this guy will come inside, then probably go outside now. Watch it.
He did, but it's high. Avery missing upstairs. After setting down the first 5, got a high fastball to Pendleton for a double, walked Abbott on 4, and he's run it 3-2 to Charles Johnson. Pendleton and Abbott will be on the move. Plays off the changeup, back-to-back walks, loads them up for Bobby Witt. Witt's 1 out of 4. A couple of sacrifices, and he struck out twice.
Well, in that situation, you can't give in and throw a fastball right down the gut to the catcher, Charlie Johnson, who can hit it out of the ballpark. You got the pitcher up next. Bases are loaded, so you should get this guy out.
Good breaking ball there, and a swing like a pitcher. That swing is a product of playing years in the league that has the DH. That swing there is a product of being a bad hitter. So when you combine the two...
I'd like to see a gun on Avery tonight. He looks like he's pretty quick.
The ball is lively, too. Not just a straight fastball. Up and away, 1-2. Pendleton at third, Abbott at second, Johnson at first, bases loaded, 2 gone. We're in the top of the 2nd inning. Glad you're with us. Ground ball. Chipper Jones will go the short route, and that'll take care of Johnson down at second. So Avery pitches in and out of trouble, and the Marlins come up empty. Leave the bases loaded. We're headed to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Still no score.
We're going to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Ray Waxman out talking to the umps. This is what's on deck for the Braves, brought to you by Amaral Deck Protector for the weekend. The Marlins here tomorrow. Night game, 7:05. Then on Sunday, Monday, is a day of rest.
And a day of travel as the Braves go to St. Louis. We have a change for the Florida Marlins. Andre Dawson has come on to play left field. We're not sure. We'll check, see if we can find out if something happened to Jeff Conine. Make that change on your lineup. The Hawk is now in left. What a good career he's had. What a great career he's had. So that's why we're running a little bit tardy here starting this half inning. David Justice to lead it off. Dawson, a .280 career hitter, started the year with 428 home runs. Nice round of applause for David Justice. David 0 for 2 against Bobby Witt, Justice, Klesko, and O'Brien. There's ball 1 to David.
This is where Dawson likes to play. Any field that's regular grass. He has some bad wheels, and when he gets on that artificial turf, he's hurting.
Down low, 2-0. Word from the Marlins clubhouse is that Jeff Conine has a lingering hamstring problem. Apparently it bothered him some, and so he will spend the rest of the night getting treatment for that. And Dawson will be in left. 3 straight out of the strike zone. It's 3-0 to David Justice. Justice, who missed over a week with that bad right shoulder, came back hot as a firecracker. 4 out of 5. There's a strike. 3-1. 5 out of 9 since coming back. It's been overlooked. David, you see, hitting .360, but he has been on base in every ball game. That continues. This is 14 games for David Justice that he has reached first base. Second walk issued by Bobby Witt.
Here's a kid who needs a good ball game. Ryan Klesko off to a very slow start, batting .71. He was injured playing against the Marlins, sliding into second base on our last visit to Miami.
Slid a little wide of the bag at second to the right, reached out with his left hand to grab the bag and jammed his thumb. 3 for 13 with a homer and 4 RBIs in his rehab assignment with Greenville. And Witt is downstairs. So Bobby Witt has gone from one extreme to the other. The first inning, everything up. This inning, everything down. Somewhere in between is a happy medium.
2 walks, and he's been behind a lot of hitters. Thrown a lot of pitches already, but there's no score.
Off-speed pitches upstairs, and it's 2-0. Klesko sometimes has a tendency, 3-1 and 2-0, to just unbutton his shirt and have himself a healthy cut, and sometimes swings at them when they're out of the strike zone. That one was there, fouled away, and it's 2-1.
Ryan's got that goatee. I don't know.
He didn't have any razors over in Birmingham when he was rehabbed.
The jury's still out on that goatee.
On the ground, fair ball. Coburn steps on the bag, but his throw's high to second. So Klesko is out 3 unassisted. David Justice moves up 90 feet.
The right play. There's the bag right there. Touch it, throw to second, but throw it lower, a little bit more on it. Even if it was just lower, he would have had the out down there. You had to tag Justice in that particular case. The force was taken off as soon as the first baseman touched first base.
Charlie O'Brien's the hitter. 5 out of his last 14, but he has not hit well against Bobby Witt. Most of his at-bats against Witt over in the American League when Charlie was with Oakland and Milwaukee. 2 out of 12. He does have 1 home run. Almost got plunked with that first one. breaking ball strike. 1-1. Charlie got into the catching rotation last year, where he caught all of John Smoltz's ball game. This year, it seems to be his turn is falling with Steve Avery. This is 5 in a row that he has caught Avery. To right field. Should be an easy one for Sheffield. He's got it. Justice tagging. And moves up 90 feet.
Quite a throw by Sheffield.
Got a good arm.
I didn't even think he was going to try it, and he threw it all the way in the air, but it was off target.
I don't think David Justice thought he was going to try it, but Jimmy Williams was right on top of it. 2 outs for Mark Lemke. Lemke's number is suffering just a little bit, but Ernie, I got to believe part of that is from the fact that his hip is not 100%.
And he's one of those guys that plays hurt. Hard to get him out of there, and it might be affecting his stroke.
Fights this one away. And it's 0-1. A couple of moves in the major leagues. The Cleveland Indians announced that Ruben Amaro has accepted assignment, and he's going to go to Buffalo. Mike Sharperson did for the Braves. He will go to Richmond. And the Indians just assigned catcher Brooke Fordyce to the minors. They drafted him. Ground ball back to Witt. That'll do it for the Braves here in the second inning. Almost threw it away. So the leadoff walk comes to nothing. The Braves come up empty here in the second inning. We've played 2, still no score.
Indian River Braves fans, loyal. Let's take a look at the Hardee's leaderboard for stolen bases. 2 guys coming up this inning. Veras and Sheffield have 19 between them. Larkin has 9. And it's unusual for Sheffield because he's a slugger, and you don't look for guys like that to steal many bases.
Veras leads it off, takes ball 1. That Indian River sign, I wonder if that's a school group from down in the Vero Beach area, because Vero Beach, the county seat for Indian River. The strike to Veras.
Cumming, Georgia, with their elementary school out. They had a lot of fun being down on the field, marching by. We hope that they enjoy the game.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bunt attempt. I think it hit him when he was in the batter's box. Angel Hernandez said, yes, it did, and it's a strike. 1-2, foul ball.
He runs into it in fair territory. He is out, but a quick call by Hernandez on it, saying it was foul. Let's take a look. From that angle, a little difficult to see whether he was in fair or foul, but he was running out. That batter's box goes out in front of the plate.
In the dirt, 2-2. Jeff Conine, as we told you, has come out of the ball game. Conine's start tonight, 299 in a row. How significant is Cal Ripken's streak? Because 299 puts him second of the active players. 2-hopper to Blauser, tricky hop, good throw. 1 gone here in the third.
That was a nice play by Blauser. This is a very difficult play because you really don't know where the ball is going to bounce. It's what they call a long hop, and you put the glove there and just pray, and it went right in his glove for the out.
A couple of fans looking in on the island of Lanai over in Hawaii. Mark and Susan Orlowski. Mark is the golf pro at the Experience at Coeli. A strike to Jerry Brown. They have the only place on the island of Lanai where you can watch Braves baseball in the bar. It's the only bar on the island that has a TV set. Upstairs, 1-1.
Some years back, we got in Dutch over there with the people of Hawaii because we would announce the hockey scores in the playoffs. But they were still betting on them over there, I think.
2 balls and 1 strike.
They call us don't announce any more hockey scores. We got a pool going.
Brown thinks Avery's working a little too quickly. Backs out of there, slows him up. Didn't mean to. Little excuse me grounder to Lemke. That's 2 nice quick outs for Avery here in the third inning, and those are 2 guys you want to keep off base ahead of Mr. Sheffield.
Sheffield reminds me of Ron Gann. I guess their muscles swell up like that every summer. But boy, I'm telling you, he's got some, just like Gant. And during the off season and during that strike, he went on a special diet. He exercised. He's in great shape. This is Sheffield.
He reminds me a lot of Richie Allen. Not the style of standing there, but the fact that they can wrap the bats and generate so much war club speed that they can not only get away with it, but do it successfully.
That's a sign of real strength when you can do that. Make all those adjustments and still hit a good fastball. Watch his bat. He's got it all over the place. He points it at the pitcher. That's not very comforting.
2 change-ups down low, and it's 2-0. I want to send along a happy birthday wish to my buddy Mario and Gwinnett, celebrating his 13th birthday today. Welcome to your teenage years. Stays nice for about the next 7. 3 change-ups, ball 3.
Let me send one along to a good old staunch Vermonter, Mary Elizabeth Ratty, up in Vermont, and she is 75 years old today, and we wish her all the best.
May have had the green light. It's a strike. Sheffield not too happy with the size of Angel Hernandez's strike zone. So you like his goatee a little bit better than Ryan Klesko's?
Yes, I do.
A little more finesse to this one. Ball 4. Third walk issued by Avery. He came into this ball game with only 6 in 22 innings. And he'll face Andre Dawson.
Guy's had quite a career. That's the understatement of the evening, I know. But what a player.
Snap throw. As Ernie told you, don't ignore Sheffield. He has tried 13. 8 stolen bases. Remember, they ran wild down there. Dawson 4 out of 18 with a homer against Steve Avery. Another snap throw.
For the fans that forgot, the Braves got a good one going down in Miami, and they scored 3 in the top of the 9th to tie the ball game. They got a runner at third and nobody out. It's a suspended game, so if they can get that run in the next time they go to Florida, they
got him. Good move by Avery. He caught him leaning, hung him out to dry. Avery's going to do that a lot before he's through. Take another look. Marlins come up empty. To the bottom of the 3rd we go.
High Plains Drifter. Hang 'em high. Fistful of dollars. Eastwood Saturday. Beginning 12:05 Eastern. Turn to TBS.
We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Let's take a look and see what's happening around the major leagues. No score at Philadelphia. The Phillies lead the National League East. No score at Cincinnati. No score at Houston. Chicago at Los Angeles later. Also later, Pittsburgh at San Diego, and the Cardinals play at San Francisco. In the American, Detroit leads by 1 over Toronto in the 5th. The Red Sox have a 2-run lead over Cleveland. Baltimore by 2 over the Yanks early. No score at Texas. And there's the rest of the American League. Here we go again.
Steve Avery will lead it off, then Kelly and Blauser to follow. Strike 1 to Avery. That got him on the move in the infield. By the way, that pickoff for Steve Avery, the 3rd runner he's hung out to dry at first this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it seemed like only yesterday. I remember the first time I saw Avery in spring training. They told me his age, and he got a chance to be a good one. He had poise and mechanics. Obviously a grasp for pitching about the first day he ever put on a pro uniform. He's in a hole, 1 and 2.
Got to the majors faster than about 90% of other minor leaguers.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Hit hard to left field. That's going to get past Dawson. This could be 3. Avery can run. He's at second. Yes, sir. He's going to try for 3. And he's going to be in standing with a triple.
This ball is lined to left, and Dawson went back. Might have misplayed it just a little bit. Underestimated the power of Avery, who can hit the ball a long ways. He comes into third easily. Avery's about 6'5" to 6'6", with big, long strides, and he moves.
Here's Kelly. Ho-hum, that's Avery's 3rd triple. Good cut by Kelly. 0-1. He whistled that ball to left field pretty good on that.
I'm sure that Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine are all sitting there saying, well, we're going to hear about that for a while. The triple to left.
Outside, 1-1. There is some outstanding camaraderie on that Braves starting 5. You might think, as good as they are and in this business as competitive this, there might be some pettiness, but there is absolutely none. In the air to right. Couldn't be deep enough. Remember, he's not going to catch it. If he had caught it, he had no chance of throwing out Avery. Pendleton Sheffield had really swung far around to right center field.
A long way to go. Let's see, does it hit his glove? It might have ticked it.
I think he had those mounds on his mind after he crossed that foul line.
And you don't get any help down there from the Braves bullpen. Unless they say, look out for the mound. Don't slip.
And they'd start yelling that about 30 yards shy of it, wouldn't it?
It did hit his glove.
That's one of those highlight cestas, isn't it? Look how big that glove is. So Kelly's still alive. It's 1-2. And the tomahawks and the chant going here. Braves trying to get on the scoreboard first. Avery at 3rd, nobody out. Infield back. Good stop by Charles Johnson. Saved a run.
He's a good-looking defensive catcher. Charlie Johnson, he prefers Charles, I believe, can really throw, too.
Saw him down in Havana in the Pan Am games. Good job defensively for the U.S. team. Good pitch there. That'll take care of Kelly. For a strikeout pitcher who has rung up a lot of them, he doesn't get his first till the 3rd inning.
Looks like it's on the outside part of the plate. It was a perfect pitch, and Kelly couldn't catch up with it. Fastball.
Blauser's the hitter. Grounded to second his last time up. Same thing this time. I'll get him an RBI. Another good stop by Charles Johnson. There is a science to that, isn't there, Ernie? There's an art to it. Do you try to catch it, or how do you?
With a runner at 3rd base, you want to block it. Especially if it's a knuckleball pitch. You don't worry about catching it. Just keep it around home plate. Keep that runner at 3rd.
He's done that twice already with Avery at 3rd. There's the Witt fastball that you read about in the scouting report. So what you're saying is that you want it to bounce off any part of your body, just stay in front of you there, right?
Just stay within 5 or 6 feet of home plate, and the runner at 3rd has to hold there. You try to make some circus stop, and it gets to the backstop, you're trailing 1-0.
Witt now hitting some good spots with his fastball. He's got Blauser in a hole, 1-2. Native Texan is Bobby Witt. That may have been one of the reasons he got so many early career comparisons to Nolan Ryan.
Well, I'd hate to be compared to Nolan. That is a tough act to follow.
It's a big albatross to wear around. Oh, he wanted to call. 2-2.
I just think he looks like he's got good stuff tonight. And the last time he pitched against us, he had good stuff, but he couldn't get it over. Boy, that was close to being called a strike.
Don't see how you can take it, and you'll get that call a lot of times. Got him with the breaking ball. So Witt 1 out away from pitching away from the leadoff triple to the pitcher. He needs to get out Chipper Jones.
This is a curveball. Down and away. More down than away. And he's in great shape now. Jones has to get a 2-out hit. He's capable.
He got a single in the first inning, pushed his average up to 272. That's 22 hits for the rookie. Yeah, amazing how, I don't know, if I were Bobby Witt, Ernie, looking at what he's done here, I might just pitch out the stretch all the time. He's had trouble throwing strikes out of the windup, but he's nailing the lid on some corners out of the stretch. Upstairs, 1-1.
It's frustrating for the Braves if they don't score. And what it does, it really picks up Witt if he holds Avery at third base and he doesn't score.
Braves have had ample opportunities. In the air to left field. Dawson has a bead on it. Looks like Witt is going to get out of the jam. Good job of pitching by Marlins right-hander Bobby Witt. He gives up the leadoff triple, leaves Avery standing at third. That's 3 in the books. Still no score.
In this neighborhood, nothing can prepare you for what waits behind the door. The producer of Menace to Society and executive producer Spike Lee will bring you a tale.
No, I hear this.
Beyond your wildest nightmares. Tales from the hood.
Unless, of course, you're scared.
Cool. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, May 24th at theaters everywhere.
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club. It is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta Baseball Club is prohibited. Dawson to lead it off, strike 1, and here's Ernie.
Thank you, Don. Dawson did not start the ball game. Conine did. Hurt himself running to first base. Dawson, one of the all-timers. There's a fastball on the outside corner, 0-2. Coming into this season, he had a lifetime batting average in the major leagues of 280, 2,700 hits, and now Dawson is thrown out. They just threw him out.
Apparently, Dawson complained about the call, and Angel Hernandez said something that really upset him because you could see Dawson saying, "Don't say that to me, don't say that to me." A good manager who's doing a good job right here. Remember, he's already got one player facing suspension and fine. He's doing a great job of keeping another one from it. That's another one of the many jobs that a manager has to take on. And Dawson really complained about the call, but it didn't look like he said anything or did anything to show up Angel Hernandez.
Squawking on a pitch can get you tossed, especially if there's any profanity used down there. There might have been.
They better get him off the field.
Terry Pendleton bumped an umpire, suspended 4 days, but he is allowed to play because he's appealed it. Dawson beside himself.
Coaches and the manager getting him off of there. I have a feeling that some comment by Hernandez might have triggered that outburst. Here's a look at the pitch. And it's pretty close, maybe a little bit low.
The batting helmet flying. You might see some bats come out of that dugout.
Why'd you throw me out? Why did you throw me out?
All right, we'll have a pinch hitter, and he'll have 2 strikes on him.
And the Marlins are now playing with a 23-man roster because they have 2 outfielders out of there. That could really be significant, Ernie, a little bit later on in the ball game, because right now you have 2 less men in a tight ball game that you can come off the bench with.
They are thinner, that's for sure, and Whitmore is going to pinch hit.
We may never know the story, but I have a feeling that Angel Hernandez might have said something like, "You swing the bat, I'll do the calling," and it may have set him off. Well, he might as well get his say right now. He's out of here, so it's not going to cost him anything else to get his money's worth.
I have never seen a ball player thrown out for saying, "Oh, golly, gee whiz, I think you missed that pitch." And chances are there was profanity. Like Billy Jakowski used to say, "Don't get into my heritage or you're gone."
He may have gotten tossed for pointing at him and sticking his finger at him. I don't know. I got tossed once for calling an umpire fat arrogant. The fat part got me run.
Yeah. Tough job for the pinch hitter, taking low.
That umpire is in the neighborhood.
Whitmore batting 154. 1 homer, 2 RBIs. No score, top of the 4. Don Sutton and Ernie Johnson with you from Atlanta on what is now a cool night. Here's a bouncer slowly to third. A long throw across by Jones, and Whitmore is out. One away for Colburn. He's their first baseman, fly to center field first time.
Okay, I threw in another name for Burrow along with fat and arrogant. That got me run. A beast of burden.
There's my choice right there when I make a movie about baseball. You'll be my Bruce Friendly.
Can I play the guy he kicks out of the game?
Yes.
I know that role.
Strike on the outside corner.
I wouldn't even have to rehearse that one either.
Coburn used to be a catcher. He's had a lot of injuries.
Before I get off that topic, as a matter of fact, I think I am ticked. He has about a 24 by 30 picture of him tossing me blown up in his basement, and he had the audacity to ask me to autograph it.
Well, he wanted a Hall of Famer.
No, it's the only call he got right all day, that's why.
He's a piece of work. Been around a long time. Down low. Pendleton on deck. A bad pitch in the dirt. Colburn one time was with the Montreal Expos.
Very highly thought of catching prospect till he hurt his shoulder, I think it was.
Missed the 91 season. Got a little sting in that bat. Hit it right off the end of the bat.
There's a lot of movement in it, Ernie. I was talking to Joe Simpson about this guy. He says he does a lot of things that you really wouldn't teach, but he's such a hard worker and such a competitor that he works through a couple of hitches in his swing.
I believe he went. Asked for help. They punch him out. Larry Vanover said he went around, and he did.
3-2 changeup. Looks like a strike till he got the movement. That's a call. Take a look from this angle. Yep. According to your definition of a strike, Mr. Johnson, that's a strike.
That bat goes past the plate. You're going to be out on strikes. Here's Terry Pendleton, who doubled in the second inning. He only hit off Steve Avery. Down low. Terry off to a slow start. Came in at 220. A couple of homers and 10 RBIs.
Avery's got a good curveball tonight, Ernie. I would like to see him not start a hitter off with it, because it's going to be better when the hitter is 0-1 or 1-2, because it starts out like a strike, and a hitter will chase it behind in the count. But on the first pitch, he's got no reason to swing at it, so he's wasting his best curve.
As they hit the left field. Pendleton now 2 for 2. Playing against his former team. I mentioned before that in a disabled list of Major League players last week that I was looking over, they had over 40 pitchers on the disabled list. And these Marlins have 5 pitchers on the disabled list themselves. A lot of it had to be attributed to the short spring training.
I don't, with all my love and respect for you, I might have to take a little exception there.
Please do.
I think it's not so much the short spring training as much as guys did nothing to prepare for a short spring training.
Well, you're true there. You're absolutely right. A lot of guys didn't do anything, but
I think they forgot that although they were on strike, they were still ball players. If you're on strike, you're on strike from playing. You're not on strike from preparing yourself to play. So they may have missed a nice opportunity to get ready, and then the short spring training would, yes, hurt them.
Strike on the outside corner, throw to first, and Pendleton back. I just feel pitchers really need a spring training of a month or so.
Well, there are 2 kinds of conditioning. You get in shape to get ready to play, then you get ready to play, so there are 2 steps to it.
This past spring, you get a little anxious to say, I think I can get in there and throw the ball hard, and all of a sudden you feel a little twinge in your arm, and you're laid up because you start to throw hard too quickly and try to go 4 innings when you should probably try to go 2.
But I think the responsibility that goes with being a ball player did not stop when the season did not start.
No, you're absolutely right. There are a lot of guys that just went out and put some weight on. There were a few that did some running and some throwing.
Do not put those 2 on that list. Those are 2 who got ready and worked very hard at it.
Avery has 1 pickoff tonight. He got Sheffield in the 3rd, caught him leaning. We're now in the 4th. 2 outs and a runner at first, and Pendleton's going to talk it over with his first base coach, Rusty Kuntz. Cookie Rojas is the coach at 3rd. Marlins, as Don mentioned, are playing a little short tonight with Conine gone and Dawson gone. Bobby Cox looking on. Whew, that was close.
There may be a little good-natured or maybe not so good-natured jabbing going on between the Braves dugout and Terry Pendleton, especially on that pickoff play.
Avery, little deke. I don't think Pendleton's a threat to go. He's stolen 1 and been caught 1. That is on the corner, and that's a strikeout. 2 in the inning for Avery. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Scoreless. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. We got a couple of changes. Brown is in left field now. He moves over from center, and Whitmore goes to center field. A couple of more warm-up tosses by Bobby Witt. I want to say hi to some youngsters that don't get out to see a ball game many times. Ricky Haygood down in Concord, Kelly Hayes over in Alpharetta, Suzanne Yapo here in Atlanta, and a happy birthday to Suzanne. They can't get out to many ball games, but they never miss them on TV.
Right ballpark, wrong hat, youngster. Ernie, according to my calculations, Rene Laxman is down to Arias, Decker, and Diaz on the bench, so his moves late in the ballgame are very limited. Advantage Braves because the Braves are going with bullpen now is matchups, pitcher against hitter, so it's much easier. Bobby Cox has more cards to play than Rene Laxman does.
We've got the Fred McGriff shift on. 3 infielders on the right side. Pendleton all by himself at shortstop. Atlanta's got their bats to do something in this inning. McGriff Justice, Flesko, and that's high.
It's amazing the difference. Look at the difference on the first two pitches with Witt. Pitching from the windup versus pitching from the stretch. From the stretch, he only threw one pitch that wasn't somewhere in the neighborhood that he wanted it in. From the windup, boy, he's been down and in and up and away.
If he's got a friend listening, he might hear about it after the game. With a suggestion, there's a bouncer to Pendleton at short. He's a normal third baseman. And McGriff is out. So it worked. On David Justice, who walked the first time up.
Remember, we were down in Florida. Terry Pendleton took a force play at second on that shift on a ground out with McGriff hitting.
I don't know about these Marlin hats. I'd like to say I like them.
Look good on the first tee.
Yeah. I'd like to see them darker. Swing and a miss on a curveball, and Justice holding on with both hands. He's 6 for his last 12 at-bats. A couple of doubles. 4 RBIs, a homer. He's happy to be playing. Missed the fastball. He just said he hates to sit on the bench. Guys that play regularly go absolutely bananas on the bench. They don't know what to do.
Most good players and most competitors will tell you that. Can't get any hits, can't win any games sitting on the bench.
Bobby Witt. He went. Another strikeout. He has struck out 3 of the last 5 batters he's faced.
He's a real Jekyll Hyde as a pitcher. 3 pitches to McGriff, none of them was a strike, but he got the out. Now he comes back with Justice and makes 3 perfect pitches.
Flesko takes a little bit low on a curveball. And some pitchers, they get their second win. They get through those first 4 or 5 innings. They become very difficult to beat. The 1-0. Bouncing ball first, and he's got another very easy inning. He's only had 1 difficult inning. We have played 4. We go to the 5th. No score. We're going to the 5th inning. Charles Johnson will lead it off, be followed by the pitcher. Good friend of ours, Victor Lee, sports writer with the Palm Beach Post, covered the Braves for many, many years, and a friend of the Braves.
And have a change in life's profession, isn't he, Ernie?
Yes, he's going to be going full-time into the ministry, and we want to wish him well. And I got to thinking, how many sports writers could become ministers? Not too many.
Well, without a complete life change.
Let's see, Furman Bisher, Reverend Furman. Well, Vic, we wish you all the best, and thanks for all the favors over the years down at West Palm Beach. Johnson walked the first time up. That's right.
Avery has that pitch there. It's almost like it's on a wire. Just nice, easy motion. Pops it right on the outside corner, just above the knees. Not too much any hitter can do with that.
There was some good news between the owners and the players union. Just came down the wire. Look at that change.
Well, you put the fastball in that spot and get 0-2, then you come back with a changeup. Now this looks like a better pitch than the fastball you just took if you're Charlie Johnson. How can you lay off of that with 2 strikes? The answer is you can't. Then it moves out of the strike zone and you get a U-turn back to the dugout.
I mentioned the players union and the owners. They've gotten together now, and $8.2 million will be paid to the benefit fund not later than June 1st, and then $7.8 million following the All-Star game. So there will be an All-Star game, and the owners have anteed up. Everything seems to be a lot better, and hopefully negotiations for a new contract will move as smoothly as that did.
Maybe that's the first step in the right direction.
Yeah. Bouncer short by Bobby Witt, and there is out number 2. Blauser throws him out. And one other bit of news, we pass along all this important business. Walt Disney Company looks like they're going to purchase 25% of the California Angels. How about that?
Well, that's nice for their. Disney has the Anaheim Ducks in the hockey league. They have Disneyland, and then now they'll have the Angels all right there within 2 or 3 miles. I understand that they are going to take over as the managing general partner too. Gene Autry has been a wonderful asset to Major League Baseball. His wife Jackie now handles most of the business there, but what a joy it was to be able to spend some years playing for him. Not too often you get to work for a guy who was an idol of yours when you were a kid.
There's on a liner on one bounce to Blauser, and a very quick inning for Steve Avery. 1, 2, 3 are out, and we move to radio, and Skip and Joe will be along shortly.
Well, things started a little slow, but they're picking up here. We go to the bottom of the 5th already. No score. Bobby Witt was working very deliberately in the early going, but he has settled down certainly, and Steve Avery always works fast.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ball game, and two guys who both struggled a little bit with their control early, but now they're looking great.
I thought Bobby Witt was doing a little too much trickery early on when he was getting behind hitters. But when he started establishing the fastball early in the count and getting ahead, it certainly turned his game around. He has fanned 3, and he will face the bottom 3rd of the order. Charlie O'Brien, Mark Lemke, and Steve Avery. Charlie flied to right his first time up. That fastball starts the inning a little outside. And that'll reach the seats. Bobby Witt out of the University of Oklahoma, coached there by Enos Seymour. And the batter he's facing, Charlie O'Brien out of Wichita State, coached by Gene Stevenson. Both teams will be in the regionals. In fact, are in the regionals, I believe, coming up. They're not in some conference tournaments right now. Swing and a miss by O'Brien. College baseball is a great game.
Really is. Sorry, locally, Georgia Tech got knocked out of the ACC tournament today by North Carolina.
The 1-2. Nice stop by Johnson. Does anything ever get by that catcher? Good-looking defensive player, and trying to make some adjustments at the plate. Tough to do at the big league level. That breaking ball is high, and it's a full count. He walked the leadoff batters in the 1st and 2nd inning, but none since. Good fastball, got him on the corner. Charlie was headed to 1st. He's going to have to bend it a little to the right. And looks back at Angel Hernandez and says it was a little outside.
You be the judge. Here it is. Charlie's right. Or so it appeared from that angle.
That was a similar pitch to the one he called on Dawson, I think. 4th strikeout. Lemke hits a one-hopper. Nice stop by Witt going up the ladder. Quickly 2 down.
He helps himself here. If this gets through, I think it sneaks on up the middle. He almost took a tumble, but maintained his balance. And here's a big part of our offense tonight, Steve Avery, at this point.
And a reminder that it also is part of the lack of offense, too. He was a 3rd with the leadoff triple back in the 3rd, but did not score. Witt came back to fan Mike Kelly, Jeff Blauser, and we got Chipper Jones to fly to left. Steve showed us some wheels, too. I didn't know he could run that well.
Yeah, he's a good athlete all the way around.
How many pitching coaches do you think Bobby Witt's had that tried to get him to stop throwing across his body?
Probably every one, and they probably did him more harm than good.
Another base hit for Avery on a breaking ball. Witt did him a favor there, and Steve is 2 for 2. Steve has 2 of the Braves' 3 hits.
Yeah, breaking ball that stayed right. It felt high. Had a hit me written all over it, and Avery did.
Well, they couldn't get Avery home from third with nobody out. Let's see if they can get him home from first with 2 outs. Kelly has walked and struck out. Mike is unsure. Ernie and Don told you in the lineup tonight, leading off because of the heel injury to Marquise Grissom and elbow plaguing Dwight Smith. 2-0 to him. When the rest of your lineup is pretty entrenched in their positions, no reason to jumble everything up. Just plug somebody in that empty spot at the top. That might stay in play. Johnson over near the Marlin on deck circle, and he does have a play for the out, and that'll do it for the Braves in the 5th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We've played 5, no score.
Sunday on TBS, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd.
Are you the police?
No, ma'am. We're musicians.
Their gig?
We're on a mission from God. We got a full tank of gas. It's dark. And we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Frankly, they're offensive.
Thank you.
The Blues Brothers. Sunday, 10:35 Eastern. Turn to TBS.
Here's the Budweiser game summary. Braves have had their chances. And the hitting heroes, Pendleton and Avery. And there is your Budweiser game summary.
And for the Marlins, as the wind begins to whip up here at the ballpark, Jerry Brown, Gary Sheffield, and then Darrell Whitmore, who's the 3rd left fielder of the night for Florida, after Conine exited with an injury and Andre Dawson exited with an insult. Called strike to Brown. Dawson ejected by home plate umpire Angel Hernandez. Breaking ball, 1 hopper hit to Chipper Jones. Unloads, 1 out. Sheffield has flied to left and walked. He walked with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and then Avery picked him off. Fastball, called strike. And there's that same outside corner that's disgusting all of the hitters tonight on both sides. But it has been a consistently generous one from Angel Hernandez. Wow.
That's way out.
That is real generous. Christmas, Mr. Avery. 0-2 pitch. They're going to go out there again. Charlie's not stupid. They threw it in the dirt. Tried it again, but this time it's so far outside, can't get the call, and it's 2-2. Braves play Sheffield to pull. Blauser has scooted over toward Jones a little bit. This is with another breaking ball. You can see Lemke cheated up the middle as well. Payoff pitch. No. Steve was working a little too quick. Popped him up. Should be easy for Lemke. Wynn pushing it out toward right. 2 down. And Darrell Whitmore will be the batter. He came on to inherit an 0-2 count after Dawson was ejected. Ended up grounding out. Next one a little low. Avery has recorded 9 ground ball outs tonight, 4 strikeouts, 3 fly ball outs, and of course the 1 pickoff at Sheffield. So a few more ground ball outs for him tonight than usual. Good fastball. So if you're playing defense behind Steve Avery, you better be ready, and you certainly would enjoy playing behind him as quickly as he works. Got to be on your toes all the time. Got him. Avery records his 5th strikeout of the night. Blew that one right by Whitmore. He's on a roll. Retired 7 in a row, and we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Still no score.
Same 2 teams tomorrow night, a half hour earlier. Kent Merker against Pat Rapp. The weather's supposed to be beautiful tomorrow, so we hope you come out and join us. There's the numbers for tickets, and there's plenty of room for you.
Some fans here tonight enjoying tonight's scoreless battle. Braves will send Blauser, Jones, and McGriff up against Bobby Witt. Who has retired 9 of the last 10. The only guy to reach has been Avery. Starts things with a strike here in the 6th.
The interesting thing about Avery throughout his career, every base runner he has allowed tonight has come after 2 are out in the inning. That happens, seems like all the time when he's pitching.
Called strike 2. Blauser didn't seem to like that one. The offensive trend continues also when Steve is pitching this year. I believe that graphic was up earlier that only 10 runs of support in his first 4 starts for Steve. A breaking ball, but it's outside. Bobby Witt has certainly settled into a nice groove after struggling early in the ball game. This is for that one. It's 2-2. Fastball fouled off of Johnson back to the screen. Kind of tough to pitch when you come to the Texas Rangers as Bobby Witt did and have that yoke to carry around of being the next Nolan Ryan, huh?
That puts tremendous pressure. It's not Nolan Ryan's fault. It's a great compliment to him, but it puts such tremendous pressure on a young player. You think you got to strike out 20 guys a night.
Breaking ball hit hard, backhanded by Pendleton. And he got him. 1 out in the 6th. Nice play by Terry. Terry never seems to get too worked up about anything hit at him, does he?
No, he's just an outstanding third baseman. We were talking on radio. It's really funny to watch the Marlins have a guy who works them out before the game. They do all these stretching drills and everything. Terry does them.
Chipper Jones up there.
He claims that he never had leg problems till in St. Louis. They had a guy who stretched him out and all that stuff. And I'll be darned, you look at their club, Chuck Carr has pulled hamstring, is on the disabled list. Conine had to leave the game tonight with hamstring problem. I wonder if
Abbott was on the DL.
That's right. Kurt Abbott was on the. I wonder if someday they're going to find out you're doing more harm than good.
2-0 pitch and had a good rip. But still, Chipper just a little bit tardy on that fastball. 2-1.
I thought the standing O that Pendleton got here tonight was great. Really nice.
I think it touched him too. Off the thumbs. Veras has it. 2 down. Fred McGriff has not had a good night thus far. Hit into his 7th double play of the year in the first inning. And then with the shift on that they're going to put on again, fought one off. They went right to Pendleton. Anywhere else on the left side of the infield, and it's a base hit.
With 2 out here, I hope he forgets about the shift and just tries to yank one right out of here.
Breaking ball, and he was looking for something middle of the plate away.
Well, I bet there's some banging going on in that game tonight.
It's been a tough series. Big cut by Fred. He comes up empty, 1-2.
And that's what he's doing. He's going for the down. He's not trying to guide one. If he's leading off the inning, you'd sort of want him to go the other way.
Especially in a scoreless game in the 6th. See if he can match up with Larry Walker. Not this time. Waves at a good pitch running away from him. Bobby Witt records his 5th strikeout. He retires the side in order one more time, and we head to the 7th, and we are still scoreless. We go to the 7th, no score. Time to take a look at the Aflac Trivia Question Night. 8 pitchers who have had 21 seasons in the National League in the 1990s. That's not just Aflac, that's Final Jeopardy stuff tonight.
Greg Holbrin leads off the 7th inning and takes a pitch low. Should be easy. And is 1 down, another ground ball out. Here's that man again, Terry Pendleton, 2 out of 2, one of them off near the top of the left field wall. Back in the 2nd inning. Let's see, 20 pitchers.
8 pitchers.
8 pitchers, won 20 games in the National League.
In the National League in the 90s.
Glavin Maddox. And Burkett.
Swift.
At the knees, outside corner. Well, that's half of them. You folks get the rest.
Well, that's just 3. Burkett, did you mention?
You said Burkett.
Burkett, Swift, Glavin.
Yeah, I said Burkett. You said Swift.
Rijo, is he in there?
Frank Viola. Well hit right field. Justice back, but he's got one. And Pendleton is finally retired. 2 down. Hershiser, maybe? Hershiser? Nope. Well, we don't want to get them all, then the fans won't have anything to do.
Yeah, that's true. We'll save a couple.
That's one reason we're not doing it. The other reason is we can't think of it. Doug Drabek.
John Smiley.
Smiley might have. That would be 7. So you folks come up with the other one. Kurt Abbott is the batter. Two balls and a strike. Didn't mean to and gets a base hit. Will you believe that?
And with 2 outs.
You talk about an excuse me single, that's it.
It's all on where it hits the bat, too. Trying to get out of the way. And even with a late start, he's got an easy hit.
Charles Johnson is the batter. He's got great power. He has only 1 home run, but he can hurt you. He's having an awful time with the bat. 167. Close, but he's safe.
It's kind of funny to see Steve work on a few pickoff moves over there with Pendleton at first base in the 4th. Got Terry's attention to the point that Pendleton was calling time and yelling in the Braves dugout.
Yeah, we'll have to find out on that Bobby Cox radio show tomorrow what was actually said.
Bobby had a big smile on his face, whatever it was that Terry said.
Abbott has one stolen base this year and one try.
Steve's doing a good job tonight of keeping the ball away from Johnson for the most part. Seeing if he will offer it anything away just a little bit off the plate, and so far he has.
Where the first, Abbott is back easily. Close. He's in there. Down on the farm edge, Giovanola hitting .393 at Richmond in 122 at-bats. Kevin Gryjak, .423 and 52 at-bats. Kevin O'Connor, .287. And Matt Murray, 4-0 with a 0.98 earned run average.
I think he's 8-0 combined.
Yeah, he started at Greenville, didn't he?
Got a pitch close enough to the plate for Johnson to foul it off there. 0-2. Let's see if they work away again.
Pitch out, nothing happening.
That was away.
Jermaine Dye hitting .326 at Greenville with 5 homers, 21 RBI. Ryan Klesko hit .231 down there in his medical rehab. Aldo Pecorilli hitting .390.
We get he and Rico Brogna on the same team.
We're in a rundown play. We're history. We're toast. A ball and 2 strikes. Right off his thumbs. McGriff makes the play, and the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Well, time to go to work here. We go to the bottom of the 7th. No score in the ball game.
Let's roll, man.
In this neighborhood is a house where souls never rest. You're invited to share their tales.
I kill one of you. I kill you all.
Tales of madness, of revenge, of horror. From the producer of Menace to Society and executive producer Spike Lee, Tales from the Hood. Chew or be chewed.
I don't need to be hearing this, man.
Rated R. Starts Wednesday, May 24th at theaters everywhere.
7th inning stretch is complete here in Atlanta. It's time now for our answer to the Aflac trivia question. The 8 pitchers who have had 21 seasons in the National League in the 1990s are... Okay, we got Burkett, Kravick, Glavine, and Maddox. We didn't have Ramon.
That's the one we missed. Ramon Martinez.
Oh, Grant.
We knew, but we wanted your fans to play, too.
How much did you risk?
Oh, nothing.
Had a big lead?
Always. David Justice leads off the bottom of the 7th. David has walked and struck out.
Think he might drop a bunt down?
He's a good bunter. Let's see. Took it a little bit inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby Witt, a different pitcher tonight than he was down in Miami. He has thrown strikes after staggering early. He's really rated himself. Check swing, strike. 1-1. He's animated out there, too. He sort of jumps around.
He's different than he was the first 2 innings when he was backing up third on a play. Took him forever to get back to the mound tonight.
High pop, that may stay in play. Pendleton, a long run. He circles it. He's got room. 1 out.
I think he knows the terrain.
Here's Ryan Klesko.
He's been there before.
I know it's an emotional night for him. He's a very emotional person, as proven by his 4-game suspension and fine that he is appealing. It was announced today by the National League. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Well, maybe Klesko will get around a little late and hit one of those fastballs over the left field fence.
Right on the batting cage.
Maybe he'll walk and steal second, third, and home, but probably not.
One thing's for sure, the Marlins have been in a lot of close games lately. Tonight, no exception. Unfortunately, they've come out on the short end of too many of them.
On the corner, 2-1. They are last in the league in hitting at .230. 11th in pitching.
That makes your record a little ugly and doesn't indicate how well you're playing.
That's ripped into right for a hit. Sheffield over and up with it. He's got a strong arm. So Klesko is at first with 1 out, and Charlie O'Brien the batter.
Brian has to wear a protective device on his left thumb to protect it in case he gets jammed or hits one off the end of the bat. He didn't have to worry about it on that swing. He hit it right on the sweet spot.
O'Brien has flied to right and been called out on strikes. He is 2 out of 14 in his career against Witt. Most of that in the American League he has a home run against. That would be nice right here. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Mark Lemke next. Braves have 4 hits now. Marlins have 3. There's Klesko's thumb.
Taped up and carrying his batting gloves with him. Try to keep from jamming that hand in the ground again.
He's running. Swung and missed the throw. Should get him. And they do. The old hit and run comes to nothing.
A good idea, though. You got 2 of the slower guys on the team, 1 on the bases, 1 at the plate. Marlins might not be looking for it. Trouble is, you got to make contact. Charlie wasn't able to.
A ball and a strike to count now. 2 out, nobody on. Who's going to blink first here? The 1-1. Right through there, 1 and 2.
You hit and run with Marquise Grissom at first base. You've always got a chance of at least getting the stolen base.
Right.
In that situation, you've got to make contact.
Veras begins to throw in their bullpen. Ground ball, just foul. Pendleton goes through with the throw. And I think O'Brien hurt himself running down the line on a play that didn't mean anything. He looks like he's limping a little bit. Maybe not.
I don't think he knows it was foul yet.
I got some bad news for him then. You mean I ran all this way for nothing?
And I'm not even sure that Pat Corrales was sure, because he didn't want to tell him to stop running if he wasn't sure. Told you that he could stop the ball behind the plate. He can also throw it.
So the count is 1 and 2. Count stays the same. Randy Veras in the bullpen.
Witt's longest outing was 7 innings against Colorado in his last start. It was also his first win in the National League.
Ground ball. Oh, what a convenient hop. And the inning is over. 1 hit, but no runs and no errors and nobody left. And at the end of 7 complete, it's scoreless in Atlanta.
Eighth inning, and time to take a look at the Delta scoreboard. New York, Philadelphia tied at 1 after 6. Cincinnati leads Colorado after 6. Bagwell has hit a homer for Houston. Candiotti and Castillo. Pittsburgh at San Diego. St. Louis at San Francisco a little later. We'll give the American League after an out.
Mario Diaz comes on to pinch hit, and I'm glad to see that. Nothing against Diaz, but when Veras comes into this game, he can't pitch any better than Bobby Witt did tonight. Fly ball right field. That should be easy. Who wants it? It'll be Justice who puts it away. 1 down.
Here are the American League scores for you. Detroit hosting Toronto. They trail it by a couple going to the ninth. Cecil Fielder's his 8th homer. He's on a roll. Boston leads Cleveland in the 7th. New York over Baltimore in a big series in the 5th inning. Milwaukee at Texas. Oakland and Kansas City leading in the 4th. Seattle with a home run from Ken Griffey Jr. in the 6th inning of play there. And California leads Chicago 2-1. That should belt the scoreboard up to date. And things are getting a little tighter at the ballpark.
I wish I'd have thought of that. I'd have sent Josh down. Hold up, that's 1 ball, no strikes. Kilvio Veras spells his name differently than does the pitcher who will enter the game, Randy Veras, and a fast man is at first with 1 out. "57 strikes and 30 balls for Bobby Witt tonight. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and looked sensational. A go-ahead run is at first with 1 out.
And excellent hit and run possibilities here with Jerry Brown up there, and a lot of speed at first.
He's 9 out of 14 is Veras in the stolen base department. You know, they check the stats, and they know how poorly the Braves have done at throwing out base runners, and they just have him swipe it. And then give Brown and Sheffield a chance to get him home. Avery has picked 1 runner off tonight. And that was Sheffield. He waits on deck. He's back in time once more. We are in the 8th. We are scoreless. The hits are even at 4. 0-4-0 is the line score for each team. A ball with count to Brown, who has tapped to the mound, grounded to second, grounded to third.
And 11 ground ball outs now for Steve Avery. He'd love to get another grounder here. Not afraid to run.
Come on, Steve. 2-0.
Can't get ground balls up there.
And you can't worry so much about the runner that he gets to second base because you walk another man to push him over there. Back easily that time. It's downright chilly here now. There he goes. Strike. No chance. Stolen base number 10. And that's just what they did.
Either he got a great read or he guessed right. Steve, as soon as he picked the foot up, and Veras was off to the races. He had at least 3 steps by the time Steve let the ball go.
I counted him 5.
5?
3-1. You don't want to walk this guy. It's Sheffield next.
Well, you don't want to give up third base either.
What you want to do is get this guy, then maybe walk Sheffield and pitch to the left-hand hitting outfielder, Darrell Whitmore. And they should have him. Look the runner back. 2 out.
It's a big out.
Now you can pitch around Sheffield if you want to, and with the left-hand hitter next, I rather imagine they want to.
You are right, sir. You're always right.
No. You can never say that to a man that's been married more than once. Whoa, ball 2 almost made it to the backstop. Darrell Whitmore has twice grounded to third and once struck out.
By the way, belated birthday greetings to your last wife.
Current, let's say current.
Okay. Probably last, too.
Yeah. Boy, you got that one right.
Paula Carey celebrating number, was it 29 yesterday?
Okay. It was 29 yesterday in Nome, Alaska. Whitmore stands in. The intentional walk was the 4th pass issued by Avery. Curve sweeps outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Greg Colburn would be next, but there are 2 out in the inning.
Whitmore doesn't get many opportunities to face a left-handed pitcher. That's why he's forced into action tonight. They really don't have anybody else to use with all the other outfielders gone.
Throw it by him, 1-1. Early in the game, Jeff Conine, a hamstring strain. And then Andre Dawson, his replacement, was kicked out arguing with the home plate umpire Angel Hernandez, and that got Whitmore into the game.
And that offer will be tougher to snap if Avery continues to throw his breaking ball like he did that last pitch.
One and two.
See, that was a good piece of pitching. Charlie O'Brien helped set that all up. Breaking ball missed early, then they threw it for a strike. Now they bust him inside. Watch how he has to pull his hands in to try to get the head of the bat out there. No chance. He's looking for that breaking ball, trying to protect the outside corner, and got busted inside.
Runner heads for third. Doesn't matter. That's a bad play anyway. Strikeout number 6 for Avery. 1 hit, no runs, no errors. 2 left, bottom half of the 8th inning. Still no score.
There's yesterday's birthday girl on the right of your screen. Skip's much better half. Paula Carey.
Can't argue that one, buddy. Randy Veras on to pitch. He has no record in 5 appearances, and he has no earned run average. And the league is hitting 143 against him. Lemke will lead it off. No activity in the Atlanta bullpen, and Avery's on deck. Veras is 29 years old, 6'3", a 210-pounder. Signed to a Charlotte contract back in March. And has come up here and pitched very well. He's been in the big leagues previously for the Cubs last year. And also had a cup of coffee or 2 with Milwaukee. Pitched for Richmond in '91 for a while. Was 0-2. Then was released by Richmond, the Braves farm club. Goes pretty hard. The first pitch is low. He's from Folsom, California.
Had a couple of teammates, I'm sure, on this ball club in '91. He'd like to show how he has responded by getting himself back to the big leagues. Not always an easy chore.
A left-hander up and throwing in their bullpen. Yorkis Perez is that lefty.
The Braves have had trouble with him.
Right through there. He was taking all the way. It's 2-1.
Veras' delivery, one that hitters should enjoy seeing.
2-2.
I'm going to say it always results in contact, but
lets you see the ball.
Yeah, you see it real well out of his hand because he takes it out of his glove early, and he doesn't have a lot of wrist snap. He windmills his arm a little bit, and when that arm goes back, that forearm goes back, you can see the ball easily up by his ear.
Get a run here, and Steve Avery would have a chance to pitch the Braves' first complete game of the year. That's well hit, but foul. Speaking of the bullpen, he went in that direction.
Speaking of bullpen coaches, Ned Yost hosting Javi Lopez tomorrow at his store, Major League Image, from 12 to 2. A lot of the guys out doing some autograph sessions. Chipper Jones is at a local elementary school today, I believe.
There's Ned Yost on the left with Mark Ulrich. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the limmer. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk would be nice. Would give Avery a chance to sacrifice.
This is where you've got a pretty good advantage as a hitter. You've got a pitcher who hasn't been in the big leagues much. He's trying to make an impression. He doesn't want to walk a potential winning run. Can't expect a fastball here.
Well, a weak grounder to second. Kilvio Veras fields and throws, 1 down. Well, Steve hit one out. Looks like it's up to you tonight, buddy. And Avery gets a well-deserved hand. He has pitched brilliantly here.
He was putting on a pretty good show in batting practice here a couple of days ago. Again, there's that graphic. None tonight. But he was launching some balls up there in Larry Walker territory in BP the other day.
They don't throw quite like that in BP.
No, Pat Morales and Andy Veras are a little different. Although Pat was throwing from about 51 feet.
Oh, 2. Mike Kelly will be next. Bottom of the 8th, but neither team can break through. He went. You're going to have to throw him out. And Johnson does. 2 down. So Veras records his first strikeout. And Mike Kelly's the batter. Normally, when he gets a hit, it's an extra base hit, so there's hope. But he hasn't gotten a hit tonight. 0 for 2 with a walk. He's had plenty of company, however. Perez have only 4 safeties, so do the Marlins.
Veras has a pretty good slider, too, and I imagine Kelly will see one of those.
Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Good pitch. He had his front leg buckling with that one. 1-1.
Threw it right at him. Mike's just got to be thinking of hitting the ball hard somewhere. He certainly got the power to hit one out of here. But until he gets 2 strikes, he ought to be thinking middle of the plate in.
The 1-1. Faced a terrible ball. It's 1-2.
That pitch gets him in so much trouble. He commits on it early, and he just can't stop the bat. And you see him so often have this check swing at sliders down and away.
And his swing is so big he can't stop it in time.
He has to start it early. Or he doesn't have to, but he does start his swing early, moving his hands back, and it's a long swing.
A 1-2. Struck him out, and the inning's over. Same pitch, same result. So nothing doing in the 8th for Atlanta. Veras comes in and looks every bit as good as Bobby Witt. We go to the 9th. No score.
TBS presents Movies for Guys Who Like Movies. This Sunday, Norris, Carradine. They're waging war against each other.
They got my daughter.
Well, hold on, I'm coming.
It's not your fight.
And the winner,
Yeah!
McQuaid, lives.
Come on, tough guy.
Chuck Norris is Lone Wolf McQuaid. Movies for Guys Who Like Movies. Sunday, 7 Eastern. Turn to TBS.
We go to the 9th. No score here in Atlanta. Let's take a look at the Tylenol leaderboard tonight. Tonight, the leaders in outfield assists. You saw Chuck Carr there in the Florida dugout. He's on the disabled list, but he still leads the National League in assists with 5. You don't see Larry Walker's name there anywhere. You do see Marquise Grissom, of course, but Larry Walker with one of the better arms in the National League. We just saw him leave town.
And Greg Colburn leads off the 9th against Steve Avery. 0-4-0, the line score for each team. Right off the end of the bat. It's even now 1-1. Looking ahead to the Atlanta half of the 9th inning, Blauser, Jones, and McGriff will hit. I rather imagine Yorkis Perez will come in to pitch to Jones and McGriff and Justice and Prescott.
He's pretty much eaten us up. So he's due to give it up.
2 balls and a strike. That one just missed from Avery. This guy can hurt you. Over. Same spot. This time it's a strike. 2-2. Terry Pendleton waits to hit next. Then Kurt Abbott. He got him, one down. Avery is rolling right along. That's 7 strikeouts for him.
This is the longest any Braves pitcher has worked this year, and he still looks sharp. Good fastball.
Pendleton has been tough to solve. A double, a single, then a fly to right. The double almost got out of here. That was back in the 2nd inning. High, lazy fly center field. Mike Kelly should have no trouble with that. 2 out. And Kurt Abbott, the batter, he has 2 homers, 6 RBIs. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He singled his last time. He's also walked. 30,275 the paid attendance here tonight. Hot shot. Past Chipper Jones into left field. So Johnson is
every one of the hits he's allowed tonight come with 2 outs. They have, haven't they?
I think all but one.
Veras last inning had a 1-out single. That ball was hit hard. Chipper Jones almost came up with it.
There's Charles Johnson. He has walked. He has struck out. He has popped to first. Throw to first. Runner back easily. Bit outside.
Abbott stole 3 bases last year for Florida. Stole as many as 21 in the minor leagues in one season. As the Marlins bullpen gets busy again, that's Rob Nen joining Perez.
He's a guy that can bring it up there in pretty good fashion, Mr. Nen. Steve Avery has 5 major league shutouts, by the way. High pop foul back into the upper deck. And the count evens at 1-1. And this is the first game in which the Braves bullpen has not stirred.
It's an impressive stat for the pitchers that have been working on Charles Johnson. Only 1 hit at this stage of the ballgame thus far. But it's not just from the 7th inning on that he is struggling.
On the corner, 1-2. He's a young guy in a similar situation to Marquise Grissom, playing before the home folks. Went to college at the University of Miami. Plus, he's a catcher. He's got all that to worry about, calling the game, getting to know the pitchers. It's tough for him.
Yes, it is. And Avery continues to work that outside part of the plate on him.
He's going out there again. Ground ball fair. McGriff fields it on the bag, and the inning is over. Well, let's win the game. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Avery gets an ovation as he walks off the field. Bottom half of the 9th. No score. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Veras continues to pitch. Yorkis Perez up again in the bullpen. Veras will probably pitch to Blauser, and then they may go to the left-hander. Brad Clontz begins to loosen up for Atlanta, and it looks like Mike Stanton will join him.
Veras had only faced 1 Braves hitter before tonight. That was Fred McGriff. And he was in the American League, 0 for 2. Rene Lachemann started the season with a lot of high hopes. I think a lot of Marlins fans did, and it's still early, of course, but that one graphic, I think, very descriptive about this team, and that they just can't win the close ones. They've got a good bullpen. It's not all the bullpen's fault. In fact, their starting pitchers are what have kind of let them down early on. That and their hitting, of course. Down near the bottom.
At the bottom.
At the bottom of the National League.
Blauser is 0 for 3. Veras struck out 2 of the 3 men he faced in the 8th. He looked very, very good. Punched foul past third, 0-1. It's so hard with pitchers because guys can improve their control. They can pick up an extra pitch. Perez has been found wanting by a lot of teams, and now he looks terrific.
Well, if you throw strikes and you get some movement on your pitches, you can work in this league. Throwing strikes is the key.
0-2. So Blauser quickly in the hole, and there's what Joe's talking about. Marlins with 5 hits. The Braves have 4. He just fought that off at the last second to stay alive.
Well, all the Marlins hits have come after an out or after 2 outs. For the Braves, they had their leadoff man on in the first. The second, they had a leadoff triple from Avery in the third, and still weren't able to get a run in.
Terry Pendleton is camped on the third base line. Did he go? He started to, but stopped in time. Larry Vanover made the call at first base. 1-2. Gotta hope he'll hang one of these things.
That's what Jeff's hoping, because he's pretty much giving up the inside part of the plate. If he busted him inside, it'd be tough for Jeff to get around. Trying to make sure he covers the entire plate on those breaking balls.
Still alive, 1-2.
I'm sorry, Skip. As a hitter, you can't always, especially behind the count, you can't stand there and look for the breaking ball, but you can look for the fastball and adjust to it in this situation as long as you're looking middle of the plate away. Try to fight off anything inside.
And the 1-2. High and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wave has broken out here.
Well, we can go along with that if it gets a rally started.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball deep right field. Sheffield going back. He's going to not make the catch. It bounces away. Blauser will stop at second. A leadoff double. So the winning run is at second with nobody out.
Look for fastball, middle of the plate away. Got it. Had the plate covered, and you could see with Jeff's body, the way he followed through with that ball, that's all he was thinking about. He was leaning out over the plate and just got it away from Sheffield enough.
A little bit of a bad break for Atlanta there. Renee Latchman's going to make a double switch. If that ball had been hit 2 feet further and it hits the wall instead of short hopping it, it rolls away far enough for Blauser to be at third. So Yorkis Perez is doubtless going to come into this game. I don't know who else is going out. Looks like Kurt Abbott made the point. And we'll break away for this and then be back. Runner at second, nobody out. Bottom of the 9th for Atlanta. Alex Arias has entered the game to play shortstop, and he bats in Abbott's. Well, he'll bat in the 9th spot in the order. And Yorkis Perez is the pitcher, and he will hit 7th, where Kurt Abbott had. They have only, outside of pitchers, only Steve Decker, the reserve catcher, on their bench.
Watch the tilt of Jeff Blauser's body on the replay of this swing. How he leans out to get this ball, and he's leaning really towards second base here. Head stayed down on the ball. Everything stayed out over the plate. No thought at all of anything middle of the plate in that he might have to turn on it. Excellent job of hitting by Jeff Blauser.
So Chipper Jones turns around and hits right-handed. He's only hitting 118 from the right side, 302 left-handed.
And one of the guys that has had some success against Perez has been Fred McGriff, who's 3 for 9 lifetime with a homer. Like to see Blauser at third with Fred up there to see what they do with him.
Good walking. Bet you they're bunting. A little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, if they walk him, Justice is up there. Maybe they pitch to him hoping for a double play.
They might walk him and go to Klesko.
Could do that. That might be the matchup they need.
Boy, look at that left side. It's mighty inviting. He bunts. It's a beauty. Only play will be to first. Out there. Perfect bunt by Chipper Jones. He didn't worry about getting a hit. He gave himself up to make sure he got the ball deadened, and he did his job perfectly.
Yeah, on the replay, you'll see how quick he got the bat around. He wasn't bunting for a base hit at all. Squared around, too. You don't see many guys do that anymore. Excellent fundamentals. Most guys still just square their shoulders. They don't square their whole body around him. That was textbook stuff right there.
Looks like Richie Lewis throwing in the bullpen. I'm guessing, but I think that's who it is.
Yes, that is him.
Here's McGriff, and if they pitch to him, I'd be shocked.
Latch checking the... I think he finally got his attention. He goes, oh, no, 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 no. He was already looking at the matchup that he might want later in the batting order. That's what he was checking.
Lewis is warming up in case the Braves were to pinch hit for Klesko, if that's the way they do it, if they walk both men. They have Javi Lopez, a good right-hand hitter, available.
Well, and Oliva, they could move Chipper back out to left.
Yeah,
Oliva at third base, too.
Well, we'll see how it develops. McGriff is aboard.
I personally like this matchup. David 1 for 3 lifetime against Perez, but it looks like he's going to get 4 wide ones, too, and force Bobby to make the move.
That's the way I think if I would manage the Marlins, that's the way I would play it, too, and that's what he's going to do.
And why let McGriff or Justice beat you? Make the other guys do it. Look at those numbers.
Of course, the bad news here is if you walk on a guy unintentionally, the ball game's over, and that's been known to happen.
Klesko 0 for 3 lifetime against Perez, and he's being called back.
And Jose Oliva's going to come out and hit. Get it in the air, Jose. He may be facing Richie Lewis. So Justice is aboard. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Braves had a runner at third, Steve Avery, early in the game and failed to score. Oliva has not yet been announced, so when that happens, Ben Latchman makes his decision. Oliva does not possess great speed. If you get a ground ball out of him, you got a double play. They check to see if Lewis is ready in the bullpen, and here comes Latchman. Dwight Smith is in the tunnel with a bat. I don't know if he can swing it or not.
Well, you see Bobby talking to him just to find out.
Justice, meanwhile, comes over to talk to Oliva, and he's going to tell him about Richie Lewis, who Oliva may have never faced. We'll be back after this. So Richie Lewis gets the call. Oliva's faced him once, gotten a base knock off it. He doesn't even need a hit. A fly ball would do very nicely. The outfield will come in and play at Little League depth. Charlie O'Brien is the on-deck hitter. If Oliva fails, it would be up to O'Brien with 2 out.
Richie Lewis, a hard thrower. Good fastball, good slider. And Oliva will be the batter, and he hasn't played in 3 days.
And you know Dwight Smith's shoulder is really hurting because this is a spot that is tailor-made for him.
Well, and Marquise Grissom, too. You
Yeah,
put a mark on that because he was perhaps going to be available for 1 at bat if needed tonight, and he is 5 for 7 lifetime off Richie Lewis with a homer, and that tells you a little something about his heel and the pain he's going through.
So Smith looks like he's still trying to get loose, but
maybe he would hit for O'Brien if it got to that, but why save him?
yeah, because he's a much faster man. Ground ball will be tougher to turn the double play. Well, we'll see what happens. Oliva, the batter.
Outfield has to play in, infield playing in. Which surprised me a little bit about the depth of the middle infielders with one out.
Yeah, because the guy at the plate doesn't run well. Almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes.
I don't like the in-between playing halfway. I know it's a situation where you play that way in case it's a ball that you know is not going to be a double play grounder. Then you got to come to the plate, but it also really hamstrings you on a hard hit ball.
Fouled back a breaking ball. It's 1-1. It goes into the press box. Pendleton camped on the line again. A ground ball to normal third base, and the game was over. But if you hit one down the line, it's a cinch double play. The 1-1 pitch. Chased a high fastball out of the strike zone, 1-2.
Yeah, he was late.
I'm pretty sure, the more I think about it, I think Dwight Smith was just there as window dressing. I can't believe they would, if they're going to use him, they would have used him here. Sure.
If he was, it didn't work because they brought Lewis in anyway. Now Oliva's got to go into that blouser mode. He's got to think middle of the plate away and fight off anything else.
2-2.
That had something on it, too. He aired that pitch out, hoping he would chase a bad pitch.
Just a fly ball, Jose. Don't try to hit it out.
Mercy.
Just barely got a piece of that, and it was way up.
Oh, boy, that was a high-hanging breaking ball. Richie Lewis got away with one here.
It was too high for him really to do anything.
It was.
The pitch was too bad. But it's still 2-2.
Pitcher as Lewis is, oddly enough, he, coming into these type situations, is not allowed to sacrifice fly this year. That's interesting.
Pops another breaking ball back. Still 2-2.
That was a good swing on Oliva's part just to stay alive. Looked like he had given up the middle of the plate in. Just fought it off. Let's see if that type swing changes Johnson's strategy and see if they go inside instead.
Justice gets a huge lead at first base. Oh, he chased a terrible pitch. 2 feet outside. Tried to stop his swing, could not.
It was a bad pitch, but watch the play by Charles Johnson. We've talked about how you can't get a ball by the guy. Watch the shift. He got leather on it. He couldn't find it right away, but he kept the ball in front of him, and he saved the game.
Well, now Dwight Smith is going to come out and hit, and I am honestly mystified at what's going on. Because now you've burned 3 players, because if you don't score, Lopez has to come in.
Lopez has to come in and catch.
Right.
And Oliva goes to third to play and pushes Johnson to left field. But Dwight Smith's spot pushes Jones to left field, but Dwight Smith's spot should have been the last at bat, I thought.
I think so, too. I don't understand it. Another big conference on the mound. Well, for those of you in Atlanta who can hear our Braves Network, we do the Bobby Cox Show. Before every game, got to ask him that question. Because I honestly, I guess I'm second guessing, but I don't understand his thinking.
Well, I don't think so, because we wondered about it before Oliva went to the plate. He's a first pitch fastball hitter. Look at those numbers. Richie Lewis has a good fastball. Let's see if he starts him with one.
One ball, no strikes. Boy, you're right. You'd think Johnson would let one get through. He's really good.
He doesn't let anything get by him. He smothers everything. I'll bet in that 3-game series down in Florida, we saw 10 pitches like that. None got by him.
Just missed. 2-0.
2 straight breaking balls. Bases loaded. No place to put him. Dwight's in the catbird seat here. Good fastball hitter. Hard thrower. Left-hander's only 1 for 13 this year, though, against Richie Lewis, but that one hit was a home run.
Three and out. Now tremendous pressure on the pitcher. Strike right through there. Do you make him throw one more, or do you cut your hitter loose?
Well, I'm going to cut Dwight Smith loose because he's been so successful. And you know his elbow's hurting, so you want him to have as many opportunities as you can. Why put the pressure back on Dwight on a 3-2 pitch? Give him a free one here.
There's a drive! Deep right field, and the Braves win! A grand slam for Dwight Smith. Well, I guess they used him in the right spot.
Yeah.
I still don't understand it, but I'll take it.
One of the first people out there, too. Bobby Cox. Dwight Smith picked on a 3-1 pitch, and I mean, it was not a cheapie, folks. And look at that. 1978 since the last 9th inning grand slam. Great extension on the fastball. Sore elbow or not, I'm sure it felt a little bit better on this trip around the sacks. What a finish. Right down the middle, and he was ready. Fastball hitter hits the fastball pitcher.
Our AutoZone player of the game is Dwight Smith, with a Oscar as well for Steve Avery, and totals and highlights right after this.
Well, if there's anything that's certainly deserving about this ball game, number one, the fact that Dwight Smith came off the bench, sore elbow and all, to hit the grand slam game-winning home run here. And he knew it. Tail of the tape, 434 feet. And he was going to enjoy that trot around the sacks. Gary Sheffield knew it, too, and he was playing shallow enough it didn't matter. He probably couldn't have run it down had it stayed in fair play anyway. But the fact that Steve Avery picks up the win. Marlins leave 7, Braves strand 4. And again, Dwight Smith, our AutoZone player of the game with the grand slam. The first time the Braves have done that in the 9th inning since 1978.
Same 2 teams tomorrow. We'll have it for you at 7:05. Good tickets available. Kent Merker and Pat Rapp will do the pitching. Coming up next on TBS, a movie called Sidekicks. with Louis Gossett Jr., a fine actor, and Larry Hagman. That comes along next. For Joe Simpson, for the Epps and Pete Van Weren, for Ernie Johnson, Don Sutton, our entire TBS crew, Skip Caray from the ballpark. So long, everybody.